Hey everybody, I don't know how folks do this YouTube live thing, but this is my first one. Hey, do we have? Mm-mm. So I'm a little bit late, but I'm gonna get started because I know a bunch of people are gonna come back to this broadcast and watch it. So happy full moon in Libra, you guys. And I'm Aquarius Maximus, and I bring the cardology side to astrology. How you guys doing? I'm checking out my chat today. For this, like we've been feeling this energy, you guys, for at least the last minimum 7 days. So I know that this energy, this full moon energy, started up for me last week because the topic, I guess you could say, everybody's life has a backstory. And if you want to follow astrology and you want to follow cardology and you want to learn it, you have to learn to pay attention to your backstory. You know what I mean? Hold on, you guys. I got to actually pull up my cards so I can have my backstory up so we could talk about that. And I know because this is my first live, like everything is going to go wrong. That's what somebody told me, and they were right. Hold on. Aha. Got it back. So if you guys want to follow me in terms of the cards that I'm talking about for this forecast, you can visit my website, aquariusmaximus.com, and that's only today because my website shows the daily card, the card for every day. That's the full spread. And because the full moon is today, we're dealing with the card energy of today. And I'm going to explain how I do my forecast because I do my forecast different from every other astrologer because I use cardology. And as I'm explaining it to you, hopefully, as you begin to learn cardology, you can learn how to decode your life and decode the things that are going on because astrology itself can be really complicated. You know, you have to learn things, you have to learn the signs, the planets, different software aspects, etc. But the beautiful thing about cardology is you don't have to know all of that. It's very easy, it's very simple to learn, and it is astrology. And how do I know this? Because I'm an astrologer also. I can compare the two. And because I compare cardology to astrology, and I'm looking at the astrological transits, and I'm also looking at the cardology transits, I can see that they're exactly the same. Except, you guys, cardology is a lot easier to decode and to learn. And a lot of you guys have been getting at me because you want to learn cardology. So that's why I decided to do more YouTube. I'm usually on Instagram. Most people know me from Facebook. I've been on Facebook for years. I do a lot of writing on Facebook. I do the card of the day, etc. But I realized to reach more people so that they can get an understanding of this and answer more questions because I can't answer all these questions coming in my inbox. What is this cardology thing? You know, I saw you on Brother Rich's program or listened to you on that program, and I have some questions. I get a ton of questions. So I am going to start, you know, answering those questions in these video series that I do on cardology. So this is probably like the most information you're going to get because the form of cardology that I actually do is a lot different from other cardologists out there. So you won't find a lot of my information out there just floating around until I put out the books on my information. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of ways of learning. Cardology, by most people, you guys, is known as the Destiny system or the Destiny cards. So you can go to Robert Camp and you can learn some of the basics of the cards and the basis of the system in that manner. And then you have Thomas Morell that does the Mystic Quadrate. So some people are familiar with the Mystic Quadrate, and he's not actually, he's the creator of the Mystic Quadrate in terms of that type of branding. But there are some people who do the Mystic Quadrate, like you have Dr. Ali, on Instagram, etc., that they all kind of go that Mr. Quadrate way. Now, a couple of years ago, we got together and we formed, it's been about 2 years now, myself and others got together and we formed the International Association of Cardology. And we felt that cardology kind of was a way to bring it to a scientific place, more so away from the, not totally away from the spiritual aspect of cardology, but scientifically, so that we could be taken more seriously. Just as astrology is a science, cardology is a science as well. So again, we came together, we formed this association. So there are other cardologists out there. I urge you to visit Gina Jones' website, thecardsoflife.com, where you can get some of the meanings, the basic meanings of the cards are very good there as well. Now, the approach that I take in terms of cardology is from the karmic standpoint, from the karmic aspect. Because for me, I'm viewing the cards as not only people, but energies that are indigenous to each day. And it's a powerful way of looking at it because it increases your ability to make predictions. It increases your ability to decode anything and everything that's going on in your life. So that's a little bit about cardology. I had to go into that because everybody has all these questions about cardology. And how that aspect, how that works. So that's a little bit, but I'll have some subsequent videos that are going to go a little bit deeper into cardology as we're going on. And part of my little setup, because this was really some impromptu stuff. I know everybody has all the pretty backgrounds and stuff like that. I'm a geek. You know what I mean? I literally will work in front of a computer for 24 hours at four walls of white, nothing on the wall, no color, all of that. That's not me, you guys. But and that's how I'm able to just channel information and bring new information about cardology and astrology that I do every day. So you can follow me on Facebook where I do the card of the day. I do try to share the card of the day to other social networks as well, but there's not but so much writing you can do on other social networks. So if you really want to get the big juice of things, a lot of times I'm taken to Facebook to do my writing. So that's like my daily blog. Twitter, I try to spit out as much daily karma as I possibly can, talk about the karmic incidents of the daily energy. If you want to know why something is happening in a particular day, or if you want to plan your day in accordance to the daily energy, then you want to pay attention to that stuff. Because I try to put it out so you can plan your day, so you don't get frustrated. You know what I mean? I mean, today, there's an energy for everything. And because every day has a unique energy signature, just because something doesn't work one day does not mean it's not going to work the next day. So that's why it's best for you to walk away from a problem that is just pulling your energy, stressing you out, and go back to it tomorrow. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't work out tomorrow, you could even maybe give it a week, because every week also has a weekly energy, and every month has a monthly energy. Every year has a yearly energy. That's why it's good, if you don't know the system, to at minimum get a reading, so you know what you're dealing with and what cards you have in your hand at any given time. So if you want to know what cards you're holding in your hand for that year, so that means what superpowers you have, because yes, every year you get new superpowers. So what superpowers you have, how your money is going to be looking like, what your challenges going to be looking like, your spiritual challenges, all of that, you want to get a yearly reading. You want to know about yourself in general, like your life. What are your superpowers? What is your weaknesses? How do you overcome these things? What is coming up for you in the next 7 years? And you get a reading, just a general cardology reading. So at any rate, I'm going to get back to today. And today, you guys, is a Two of Diamonds day. And the Two of Diamonds is called the Wheeler Dealer, but this is a relationship card. So everything lines up and syncs up because the full moon in Libra is dealing with relationships. And being that it's falling on a relationship card day, that's just like the emphasis of what these relationships are going to look like. Now, a Two of Diamonds relationship is a lot different than a Two of Hearts relationship. And I think that kind of encapsulates what's going on with this full moon energy as well. This full moon in Libra energy is dealing with different types of relationships, or the evolution of relationships. Relationships, considering all types of things in your life, relationships. One of the things I could never understand is how people deal with one another and don't realize, hey, don't realize that that is a relationship. If you are dealing with someone every day, not even every day, let's say 2 or 3 times a week, you have a relationship with that person. Now, it may not be a marriage, it may not be a committed relationship, but it is a relationship. So, this full moon is having you examine your relationships. You understand? And note that we are beings, we are people that have many relationships. We have all different types of relationships that we deal with. And sometimes some relationships are going to get more energy than others. And then other times we're going to have to learn how to juggle and balance relationships. And that's what this full moon is about. This year is a 3 of Hearts year. So you see 3, when you look at the number 3, when you see 3 things, you see a split. When you look at a 3 of Hearts on the cards, you see a arrow in the middle, you see one going in one direction and one going in the next. So you're split into multiple directions. So that's exactly the energy of this year in terms of relationships. It's like being at the crossroads, you know what I mean? And not fully committing, not jumping all in, but experiencing different relationships so that you can determine what is in best what relationship is in the most alignment with the direction that you're going. That's the important thing. Hey, you can't grab relationships and you can't grab people and pull them where you're going anymore. That's karmic relationships. You know what I mean? Those karmic relationships that we have been creating is we have been going out, meeting people, knowing that this person is not going in the direction that we're going. We figure that out probably, and we don't even give it any time to figure it out. And that's another thing. You got to give us some time to figure out where this person is going. Where is this person going? Is this person going in the same direction as you're going? You know what I mean? And if this person is not going in the same direction that you're going, then that is not a candidate for a relationship, a personal relationship with you. You know what I mean? So with these twos, you don't want your control mechanisms to start kicking in, where you want to try to control it. You want to try to force this person to go in the direction that you're going. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. With these threes, you want to let everything show itself, everything reveal itself. And then ultimately, the choice will be clear. I'm serious. That's how it is. So give it like 3 months. You know what I mean? Give it 90 days with someone. And at the end of that 90 days, assess the situation. Where is this person going? Is this person going in the same direction that you're going? You know what I mean? And then, of course, you got to know where direction that you're going, and that's important. And if you don't know where you're going, then you definitely don't want to be creating any committed situations, because when it's revealed to you where you're going, you don't want to be stuck, like, oh my God, now I'm going in this direction. That person's not going in this direction. And now we got all this conflict because, again, we're trying to tug each other where we're going. So the beginning of this is, number one, knowing yourself and knowing what direction you're going. That is very important for this year. The next 2 years can bring you a tremendous amount of success. But you have to get in alignment with what's your purpose. You know what I mean? And understand that there's some general concepts that I'm saying to everybody, but there's still some individual things that are just for you that you have to find out. So you may have to get a personal reading, because there isn't a brush that just covers everybody. But this is the law of attraction. And what I mean by the law of attraction is, if you are watching this message, then the message is for you. And remember that. That's something that I teach in Cardology. That's something that I learned from Cardology, is that you're in the right place at the right time all the time. You understand? So people sometimes they come to my social media, they come to my Instagram, and they're like, is this message for me? They're reading it, and they're like, is this message for me? And I'm like, certainly it's for you. because you're looking at it. So by law of attraction, this message is for you. Now it's up to you to figure out how it's meant for you. It may not be the same for you exactly as it is for the next person, but somehow, some way, it is the most important thing in your life at the moment. So you want to take and absorb that message and see where it fits in. So, and part of me for having the little skirt in between, got to do that. But I'll get back to the Libra situation. But we are talking about relationships, and we're talking about the evolution of relationships. Relationships evolving into having more meaning, more substance, more importantly, more authenticity. Why authenticity? Because this full moon is opposing Uranus. You know what I mean? So I tell everybody Uranus mainly is about authenticity, your real self, your true self. And it's funny that because of the society that we live in, we often have to evolve into our true self. It's like, wow, why do you have to evolve into your true self? You should just be able to be your true self, right? But as you're growing, you're taking on so many layers and you're taking on so much energy from so many other people, and you're walking so many paths that you get caught up in. And that's another thing in cardology, you guys. Every year, every 7 years, you take on new paths that belong to other cards and other energies, which is why you don't want to get stuck. You know what I mean? Because you could be suffering because you're stuck in the residue and the memory of another energy that's already died and faded away. So it is no longer working for you. The superpowers of that energy are no longer working for you. All it's doing is eating away at you. You understand? So getting stuck and not being able to move on is the biggest major, major, major difficulty that people face when a full moon comes up. Because when a full moon comes up, it's going to bring a crisis. It's going to bring an incident to divorce you from those things that you just won't release and let go. Because it's like, this is time. This is it. This is the eruption. You know what I mean? And if you pay attention to the days leading up to a full moon, you'll see what the storyline is. You'll see what's about to erupt. Psychic ability is a very easy thing. I call psychic ability common sense. Psychic ability is common sense, and it's also awareness. It's being aware and being willing to face the truth, So if you're looking around, you're observing what's going on in your life right now, and you're not escaping those things. Because one of the things that could be most damaging to this whole process is the escapism aspect of it. So you might be drinking, you might be smoking, you might be doing something that is escaping the reality as it is, and it's inhibiting your ability to be in the present. It's inhibiting your ability to be able to see the signs, to decode what's actually going on right now. There's this time and space for, taking certain things that are going to zoom you spiritually into the future, into the past. But that time and place is not all the time, not in the realm of matter and on earth. So I had to throw that one in as well. But back today being the Two of Diamonds. It's interesting because the Two of Diamonds is Saturn to the Two of Hearts. So the Two of Hearts is the traditional relationship, right? This is my soulmate. This is my lovey-dovey. This is my all. I want to merge with this person. But that's not the Two of Diamonds. The Two of Diamonds is like, I'm really passionate about this person. I have a connection with this person, but I also have a career. I have my own business. I want to make money. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to shine, you know what I mean, in my own way. I want to be an individual, but yet I want to be in a situation. That's what the Two of Diamonds says, and that's exactly what this full moon is speaking to you. It's speaking to you, how can you maintain being the individual that you are and be in a relationship? And why would you want to maintain being an individual? Because you might want to grow, right? It's the only way you're going to grow is if you're able to accept your individualism and maintain your individual self while being in a relationship. And that's what this Two of Diamonds is asking you, all of you who are watching, to examine. How do you grow? How do you work on your career? How do you obtain your desires? How do you go back to school and get that education? How do you raise these children? How do you treat your health and fix your health while being in a relationship or having a love as well. You know what I mean? Because you don't want this love and this relationship to interrupt these other processes. You know, you want it to complement. So we're looking at relationships that complement you. And that's what you're going to be looking for with this full moon in Libra. You want to look for a relationship that complements you in all ways. You know what I mean? It complements you, it doesn't interrupt you, disrupt you, control you, force you to be something that you aren't, and force you on a path that you're not ready to walk or you're not meant to walk. So those are the key things. Those are overall things. So I'm going to get into the signs in accordance to the cards as well. And I'm going to start out with Scorpio and Aries. Now, mind you, according to the cards are divided. When I look at a spread, like the spread for today, it's divided by planets. And these planets rule particular signs. So that's when I will go to the planet and I will look at the signs that it rules. And that's how I'll be able to interpret how this energy is going to influence you. So I might talk about two planets at a time, but two signs at a time, because certain signs are ruled by the same planet. So we'll get into, I want to start with Scorpio and Aries, because today has the Six of Diamonds, and I am a Scorpio. I know my name says Aquarius Maximus, but it's a long story. I'm a Scorpio, and I want to start with how this full moon is going to affect Scorpios and Aries. And ironically, I have a couple of situations where I'm dealing with a lot of Aries people, so I get to see it doubly. I get to see the effects. So because today has a Six of Diamonds in Aries, sorry, not in Aries, in Mars, and that rules Pluto and Scorpio. This is largely about bringing your life into balance. You know what I mean? So this is a whole life thing. Now, this is the thing with Six of Diamonds people. Six of Diamonds people have a better opportunity to have the perfect love that they want a little later in life, because they have an Ace of Hearts and Saturn. So after they've gone through some really, really tough situations in their life and they've gotten wiser, they now can have a better chance of having the most authentic and pure love that they can possibly have. So if you are a Scorpio or Aries and you're older, or you're seeing an older person, then yes, this could be the time in which a new relationship buds for you in a most awesome way. Now, if you're a little younger, if you're especially down in the millennials, this may be a frustrating time for you in terms of relationship, because this is a time of discovery and loving yourself. This is about honoring and loving yourself. So you are going to be doing things in your life that's going to be enriching you financially, namely, because the Six of Diamonds deals with finances. So this might be a time that Aries and Scorpios are working on their bucks. You know what I mean? Fixing your credit, working on your money, getting out of debt because you want to be debt free, thinking about what it is, working hard on what it is that you do that makes you great, because the Six of Diamonds is a competitive card. It's a card of greatness as well. So you're working on all of these things that are going to make you great. So this is more of an individual thing. In the back of your mind, you want a relationship, and there may be a special person in your life that you do want to be with, but it's not quite working out. It's not quite cracking, right? That's because you still have work to do. There's things that you have to do. You're working on your obligations to your spirit and your soul right now. So this may not be, the most lovey-dovey of times. You should have some opportunities to go out and socialize with somebody, or someone new may even pop up. But you don't want to rush. You don't want to take it too fast. You want to kind of take it slow. You want to put the bulk of the focus on you, and especially on your finances. So this full moon is affecting you in the way of, and it's almost like an eighth house, if you guys know astrology, an eighth house thing. It's like, balancing out your finances versus potentially another person's finances as well. So maybe your finances are good, but maybe the other person, they're suffering, having financial issues. You know what I mean? So this may be something that's affecting Aries and Scorpio. So there may be somebody that you're in a relationship with, or you want to be in a relationship with, but this person is having financial issues and they have to work out their financial issues. And you have to give them the space to do so and not be frustrated that things are just not gelling the way that you want to. You understand? Sometimes it doesn't mean that this situation is not meant to be. It simply means that it needs more baking. It needs more time. There's more things behind the scene going on that you don't know. You know, oftentimes with human beings, the window that we see through is this small, but then there's the whole window of reality that we don't see. All of these things going on behind the scenes that we don't see. So again, but how you can handle this energy, Aries and Scorpios, is dedicate yourself to being great. Dedicate yourself to your personal greatness. This is the time when you can really achieve some greatness in your life. You can overcome obstacles in business. You can overcome obstacles in expansion of your whole entire life at this time. Additionally, Scorpios, right now, you still got Jupiter in the natural second house, transit in the natural second house of Scorpio. So that's very good potentially for your finances. However, Jupiter is retrograde. And I'm talking about finances, you guys, because Libra is ruled by what? Venus. So Venus deals with love and money. You know what I mean? And ultimately, the big conundrum sometimes is balancing both. So this is a great opportunity for Scorpios to quote unquote get it and get the bag, secure the bag. It may be a little bit harder and slower because Jupiter is retrograde, but you still can secure the bag at this time. So again, although your love life might not be too great, Aries and Scorpio, you got a lot of other things to look forward to, and consider yourself baking a good situation for the future in terms of love. So I'm gonna go to my Mercury people, my second favorite people. Actually, it changes. Sometimes my Mercury people, which are my Geminis and my Virgos, sometimes they're my favorite, sometimes they're not. Sometimes, you know, I have this what do you call it? Astrological what do you say? Split personalities. Because one thing I want you guys to understand too, especially if you're a newbie at astrology, is that you have every astrological sign within you. That's why you should always pay attention to all messages. But it's good to learn a little bit about astrology so you can see where in your life does that little Gemini live? Where in your life does that Virgo live? Where does the Scorpio live in your life? That's what happens when you study astrology. If you look around and see all the people who are in, yeah, I do love y'all. And I got a little bit of a lag in my chat, you guys. If you look around and you see all of the different diverse signs around you, and especially the people who are closest to you, those are your strong signs. They have to be, because these people are in your life daily. And they're teaching you the lessons that are associated with each individual sign. So for me, I have a Libra mom, I have a Sag dad, I got a Capricorn grandma, I got Aries children, Scorpio children, Pisces children. Yes, I have a lot of different people around, a lot of different signs. So I deal with I have a lot of strong astrological placements in my chart. That's why I'm an astrologer. Most astrologers, if you're an astrologer, you're dealing heavily with all the signs because you get readings to all these people by law of attraction. You got some heavy placements with everything. You know what I mean? So you can interpret every sign very, very clearly. So I'm going to go to my Mercury people. And my Mercury people, you're dealing with the Jack of Spades. Love the Jack of Spades. That's my Venus card. However, it's a very, very, very tricky energy. So in terms of relationship in this full moon, this is going to be of a highly spiritual quality. Spiritual lessons for you are taking place. And unfortunately and fortunately, to navigate spiritual lessons, it takes spiritual discipline. So you may be going through some things, Virgo and Gemini, that are just unbelievable. Like you can't even figure this out because it's spiritual. there are spiritual issues going on within you and with the people that you're dealing with. So my best advice to you at this time is to explore the spiritual aspect of it. So this is the time when you want to get with people who are disciplined in different spiritual disciplines who can help you navigate this, because you're not going to be able to see what's going on with your relationships with your two eyes. This is a spiritual thing. So this is something that might also lead you to initiation. Maybe this other person that you're dealing with, or maybe other people that you're dealing with in your relationships, have pushed you so far to the point that you realize that you need some spiritual help. You know what I mean? That you got some stuff going on. The Jack of Spades also deals with trust issues. So you may be finding, and this is Gemini and this is Virgo, you may be finding that you're suffering from trust issues within your relationships. And not just your personal relationships. Look around. If you have trust issues, it's not just with the person that you're with or want to be with. It's with everybody. You know what I mean? You're having trust issues with everybody. You're having difficulties trusting people in general. You don't trust yourself. Hey! So people are signing on now. I'm not the one that was late, you guys. But anyway, you're having difficulties. You're having trust issues. So how do you navigate these trust issues? Trust deals with Neptune in the 12th house, the things that you cannot see clearly with your eyes, the things that you have to seek spiritual help in order to be able to decode and interpret it and feel better about it. You understand? So this is for Geminis, and this is for you Virgos. This is a time when you might have to settle down into some spiritual discipline so that you can bring your relationships back into balance. If you have that love, that deep love that's going on, and you really want to be with this person, and you see something that you can salvage, and that person is in agreement, then maybe it's time that you get a spiritual consultation to help you through this. Get some type of mentor to help you through this. So, however, the Jack of Spades also can indicate that there is some good money down the line for you and your relationship, and maybe even a good partnership. So maybe you're thinking about partnerships, but you don't know which one to go with. You don't know if this is going to be a trustworthy situation. You don't know. It seems like it's too good to be true, because that's a big thing with the Jack of Spades. So Geminis and Virgos, you may be dealing with a potential partnership or relationship that might be too good to be true. Like, it's looking like it's too good to be true. So in that case, what do? You have to take your time. You have to allow things to reveal themselves, and you have to allow people's faces to reveal themselves. That's a big thing with the Jack of Spades. The Jack of Spades is about the masks, the faces. The Jack of Spades is like, that's the actor. You know what I mean? So this person is putting on many faces. They're going to put on their best face. So if you're getting into a new situation with someone, allow them to show you all their faces before you commit. So especially Geminis and Virgos. So if you get in a new situation, allow this person to show themselves until they get all the way to their true, authentic self, because that's what this full moon is dealing with. Remember, I said it's about getting into relationships that you can be your true, authentic self, and this person can be as well. Now, if you try to be a perfectionist, and I'm pointing to you Virgos because that's the sign of perfectionism. If you try to be a perfectionist and you come into this situation looking too perfect, you go on that date looking too perfect, then you're evoking that same perfectionism, criticism in the other person. And that may leave you in two places. One place, it may leave you lonely, because that people may think that, subtly they'll think that they're never going to make it up to your level or where you are, even though you're putting on a face and you're not really where you are. They may think they ain't going to get there neither, so they're not going to bother with you. You know what I mean? Or you're going to evoke the alter egos and faces of these people to compete with your face, because you looking all perfect and like you got money, and you rich, and you driving this nice car, and you ain't got all that going on yet. So now you're evoking this person is going to have to impress you and put on their face. So now you have two people potentially getting together, and they'll never know each other. It's going to take a long time for them to really get to know each other, because they're battling out their faces. They're not showing their true and authentic selves. So Geminis and Virgos, remember that. So you really want to try hard and strive hard to show your true and authentic self in a relationship. And I'm talking to Gemini, talking about true and authentic self, and y'all got two faces, and plus more, two personalities. You're gonna have to break out of that because that is your detriment. You know, it's not to say that we all have two personalities, and it's not to say that, you know, having another personality is, you know, quote unquote, a bad thing, because we got multiple, you know, we all got multiple personalities. I'm Aquarius Maximus, I'm this, I'm that. However, with the people that you're trying to love and be in a personal relationship, you want them to have that personality that they can be secure with. You want them to have that consistency. You know what I mean? That constant personality. You know, you don't want them to think you're gonna wig out on them, right? And you don't want to wig out on them. And if you think you're gonna wig out on people, then therapy might be the answer. The Jack of Spades and Mercury for this card a lot of times turns out to be prescription medicines and meds. But meds just they just replace that good old working on yourself therapy, good old working on yourself spirituality. So remember that. And it's just a band-aid. So we're going to go, we already did our Mars, we did our Scorpio and Aries. We did our Geminis and Virgo. See, we're going to breeze through this because we're doing twos. We're going to go to our Venus people. Love the Venus people. Venus is the ruler of this full moon because it's in Libra. So this is going to this has been affecting you for the last couple of days, or even maybe like a week to week and a half. This has been affecting you quite strongly. You know what I mean? So you may have been filtering through people in your life at this time, and we'll get into why. So today has an 8 of clubs, which is a very, very good energy if you're trying to obtain success. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the balance of Venus energy with the Libra, right? Balancing the scales. The Venus deals with love and Venus deals with money, right? It deals with your values. It deals with the law of attraction and what you can have in your life. And oftentimes, especially women, this card is going to be really crippling with women, and it's going to affect you all. Oftentimes, when women are working towards our success, we are also focusing, some of our energy is being extracted and focused towards relationships as well. So for women, it could be really difficult, you know, so we can have a situation where things are not going as well as we want to with this relationship. And a lot of our focus and energy is going towards relationships and, you know, the other people, that we take away and filter the energy that we potentially have that can bring us success in our business and our projects. And our quality of life is watered down. So when we're working on our business and we're working on our projects, we got to work doubly hard because we're splitting our energy. We're taking away our energy and we're focusing it a little bit too much on the relationship aspect of it. Hey, so, and I know this better than everybody because I have an 8 of clubs Mars. And yes, I get man on the brain. That's what I call it, man on the brain. So I'm sitting here working. I'm all in my stuff. And this is for you Venus people. I'm telling you, because you got that card, man on the brain. So, or, you know, woman or whatever. But I'm all in my work. I'm really, really making some strides, right? And then I get that text message. What are you doing? Then I start to reminisce and think about the good times in a relationship with somebody. Next thing you know, I'm picking up the phone, calling them, and I might get sucked into a 3-hour call with a dude when I was in the middle of my work doing some major stuff. Like I'm on some $billion stuff, right? And I get sucked into a 3-hour conversation and I don't have that kind of time. Understood? So that is what largely you're going to be looking at, you Venus people, and that's Libras and Tauruses. Your stubbornness, your fixations are going to be challenged. What are you fixated on? You know what I mean? And you're definitely going to have to look at yourself honestly. And when you're willing to look at yourself honestly and break those patterns, then you can turn around and you can focus on your success and your own personal success. Because you can be a successful person and have a relationship. Deep down, because of cultural things, and especially here in America, women tend to think that we can't be successful and be in a relationship or have relationships. You know what I mean? And namely because the quote unquote independent woman has been associated with the businesswoman and has been demonized, you know, and because of that, we sabotage our opportunities for success with that kind of thinking because we don't feel we can balance the two. And we listen to what people are saying about, you know, that chatter in your ear. You know, I did that before in my life. It was a time when I was doing very, very well. And it took one person to come to my house and say to me, "Oh, wow, you have all these wonderful things. You have a nice house. You got all this going on, but you don't have a man." And when he said that, he toppled everything I built with that one statement. And at that point, I felt like I had to have a man and got pretty desperate about it too. When I say desperate, I mean I was willing to allow somebody in my space that didn't fit in my world at all. And all he did was work to tumble that in there. So you can see how this goes. You can see the message, right? So there's a couple of messages for you, Tauruses and you Libras, and all of you in general, because in general, this does affect everybody. But specifically, Tauruses and Libras is number one, looking at these relationships to see if they're on your level, if they're where you're going. If you're trying to shoot for the stars, and I know you are, is this person, you know, up in the stars? Is this person anywhere near that they didn't even care about going in that direction? These are the things that you need to examine. And if not, then maybe you just need to have you some friends. You know what I mean? I mean, hey, everybody need to have their little buddies and stuff like that. So maybe you don't need to be making this person your main deal. You know what I mean? Your main deal is going to be somewhere out there. Also, it could be the flip side. Maybe this person is doing very well, wants to spoil you. You know what I mean? Wants to blah, blah, blah. But think about it like this, and I tell this to everybody. Just because somebody is spoiling you, what happens if that person is not there anymore and takes everything with them that they came with? Did that leave you with anything? You still need to build your base and your foundation and your own personal security so that if this relationship does not work out, you're going to be good. Because I'm going to tell you another thing with these new relationships that are coming in now, there is no guarantee of forever. There is only now. You know what I mean? And you need to be able to enjoy the now. There is no death do us part. You should know that by now. That is a big fallacy for most people, at least 90%. You know what I mean? And that's okay. It's okay if it doesn't work out after 13 years or 7 years and you're ready to move on and this is just your friend. Perfectly okay. So these are the things that you need to be considering. Tauruses and Libras, you need to be considering your success and the opportunities that you have all around you to get the bag and to get the life that you want. Don't give it up chasing after someone else or chasing after others, someone else. Don't divide your time. Don't waste your time. You know what I mean? Your time is very valuable right now, Tauruses and Libras. Excuse me. So I can go to my third favorite people who sometimes are my first favorite people, and that's Sagittarius. And I have a Sag moon, so these should always be my favorite people. But you know, Sagittarius are very flippant. You know, they like their freedom, so they may be, you know, great one moment, and then the next moment you might get put to the curb, or you might put them to the curb. So you can't love them the same all the time. But at any rate, Jupiter, 4 of spades. So for you Sagittarius, this full moon for you definitely evokes feelings of security. You know what I mean? Feelings around security. around your base, around support. You know what I mean? But also, this is about gratitude. The Four of Spades largely is about gratitude for the things that you have and get easy. And the people who are willing to take care of you, what do you do to give back? You know, how do you give back? How are you going to give back? This potentially could be the start of a very, very good time for you in terms of business and travel and expansion, etc. You know, with Sagittarius, like I said, it's always going to be larger than life. It's not going to be so much focused on the smaller intricacies of the other signs. It's about Jupiter. It's about the whole entire world, the whole planet. It's about going big or going home, going hard or whatever. So you are in a unique position, Sagittarius, to attract many new relationships, you know, in your life at this time. This could be a very, very good thing for you. However, going back to authenticity, you have to be real with what it is that is in alignment with you and what makes you really, truly feel worthy and valuable. You know what I mean? So attracting someone in your life that is just going to, if you're a woman, maybe spoil you, just take care of you because you do have the potential right now to attract someone like that in your life. That's great and dandy, but did you start a business recently? Have you had these great business ideas that you need to do, that you want to do? Do you have these places that you want to travel? You know what I mean? Some degree of spoilage comes with some degree of control. You know, so you Sagittarius, I want you to remember that. So these are for new relationships that you will attract in your life. You know, are these people going to allow you to have the freedom that you want to have? You know, or are you going to be dealing with people who have control issues? So, because you don't want to get involved with these people and then later on down the line you're crying because, oh, this person is so controlling, they won't let me do this, and we're fighting, and blah, 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 and you know, he's abusive, and this, that, and the third, when you've seen all the signs in the beginning. There's no more of that. We're going to be authentic now. This is about authenticity. This is Uranus. Uranus is, and I say Uranus. I know, to be honest, everybody describes it to me. I say Uranus. This is Uranus and Taurus. So this is about being real and being authentic and looking into the future. You know what I mean? Because everything might look all good and dandy now, but how is it going to look in the future when you grow and when that person grows? You know what I mean? Because this potentially could be a person that they're not satisfied with just one person, just you. You know, maybe they're taking care of you because they're going to get you strong because then they want to get with others. So the conversation about poly lifestyles and polygamy and all of that has definitely been a big topic this year because it's a Three of Hearts year. It's a big topic with this card today because it's a Two of Diamonds, and Two of Diamonds often get thrust into situations to where there's a third party or there's other third parties, or Two of Diamonds men prefer to have lots of women, you know what I mean, or etc. So you Sagittarius might be dealing with the concept of that, or the concept of other people, you know, around in your relationships, and whether or not that bothers you, or whether or not that's the lifestyle that you want to have. You know what I mean? So this is an examination for you, Sagittarius, is your lifestyle and the lifestyle you want, because you are at a unique position in your life that you can have the lifestyle that you want. But maybe you need to give it to yourself and not someone else coming in and giving it to you. So examine that. So I didn't have a lot to say about Sagittarius because really and truthfully, this could be a potentially good time for you. You know what I mean? But that's all the way up. That's to your mental. That's what you believe. Because the today's card has a Four of Spades in Jupiter. And the situations with the Four of Spades is they tend to worry about money even when they don't have to. You know what I mean? So if you're thinking about negativity, Sagittarius, and you're worried about things and this, that, and the third, you're going to have to do away with that and think positively to see all of the wonderful things that are really happening to you right now. Release the fear of the past, the fear when everything blew up, it's not blowing up for you right now. At least not in the area of um, your relationships, and potentially not in the area of your overall lifestyle and well-being. So we'll get to Capricorns. That's another favorite sign of mine. My grandma's Capricorn, which has a 10 of hearts today. So Capricorns, you have the potential to have success in your relationships and in your life. However, in true Capricorn tradition, you might be thinking about your money. You might be thinking about investing. You might be thinking about investments in your personal finances and this, that, and the third. You might be thinking about going big on something. You know what I mean? So relationships, in terms of personal relationships and love, might not be your priority right now. But guess what? You can have it if you want it. You have the ability to create relationships in your life right now that are going to be enriching and are going to involve lots of people. There may be children involved. There may be lots of children involved. Anytime I see a 10 of hearts, because I have 8 kids, I think of a lot of kids. I think of a lot of children. It was during my 10 of hearts period in life that I had the bulk of my children. But Capricorns in general, this can be a very fortunate time for you, even in terms of money. You know what I mean? This may be a time when you might even get a windfall. If you get that windfall, you need to take and invest it. Invest. That's what 10 of hearts get into. They get into investing. Some of them get into real estate. This is a good time to be thinking in that mode. So it goes back to that 8 of clubs I was talking about earlier, and not focusing so much, not channeling so much energy into love or into this person, but learning how to take that energy and focus it into what you're trying to achieve, and then also enjoy the situations as they come. You know what I mean? Because the way that the universe works is, and I've noticed this, being a person that is in business, being a person that has, relationships, is it gives you the time and the space to focus on the things that are important. And then it will put up blocks with things that are not important. And you think it's that other person. So things may not be working out relationship wise with that other person because you got something else that you need to be focused on. And I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching this message right now, you know that there's another area in your life other than love that you need to be focused on. So if you got somebody that you're dating and you're seeing and they all of a sudden become not available, guess what? They're probably focusing on that thing that you need to focus on. I can bet you. So if you need to be focused on securing the bag, that person is focused on securing the bag. And you can't reach them when you need to reach them to get your little love Jones, because you need to be focused on securing the bag. So this is an overall message for all signs. It's an overall message for all of you. So now we got to our Aquarius people, ruled by Uranus, which today has a 10 of diamonds. This is an opportunity for Aquarius people to really shine. You know what I mean? To really be authentic, to be yourselves. That's what Aquarius is about. Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius is being authentic. That's what it's about. And this is your opportunity to be authentic and people not look at you like you're crazy. So, yeah, and I'm sorry, you guys, with the chat, I got a serious lag. I'm supposed to have the best internet, but I don't. I have serious lags going on. But anyway, Aquarius, this is your opportunity to be you. You know what I mean? And to not have to hide in the shadows. So when you're going out on a date to meet somebody, or you're trying to get in a relationship, you can actually be yourself. You don't have to put on those faces. So your message goes back to what I was talking about earlier, which is the different faces, or feeling like you're having to put on a face. You don't even have to do that. People are going to understand you better in relationships now. Aquariuses just begin to have better relationships over the next couple of years. This is the beginning of that for you, because everybody's trying to be an Aquarius in terms of relationships right now. Everybody is trying to be authentic, focus on themselves, focus on their dreams, all of these things. Everybody's in the same space as you. So if everybody is moving in the same space as you, you're no longer the outsider. You're no longer the one that folks are talking about. You are the norm. So, you're setting the template for relationships, which, by the way, you can capitalize off of that. So if you're an Aquarius and you're into technology, you could start developing different dating sites and different dating, whatever, things centered around being true and authentic, being Aquarian, etc. And this is your time to actually capitalize and make money off of it, because you got that 10 of diamonds. So like I said, you're shining now. So you're not shining in a bad way. The 10 of diamonds has attention, can have good attention, but then can have attention, bad attention as well. You know what I mean? That type of attention, like, why is this person tripping out? And because you have that 10 of diamonds, you may also be craving more attention in your life from your personal relationships, more love or more romance. You know what I mean? So this is your opportunity to explore those as well. Hey, so we're up to our Pisces, Neptune, and today has an 8 of spades, which is dealing with power struggles and issues. So for you Pisces out there, you may be dealing with power struggles in your relationship. You know what I mean? You may want something, the other person may want something different, or you may be pulling somebody along for the ride. Remember what I said earlier? This points back to earlier, to making sure that this person is in spiritual alignment with you, making sure that this person is going in the same direction as you. That's very, very, very important. Are you just pulling this person along because they're pullable? You know what I mean? Because they're pullable. Are you just pulling them along? Or do you have this true and authentic desire to be in a relationship with this person? Are you being pulled along just because? Just because. Now, all twos can deal with the issue of codependency. So you have to analyze and ask yourself, are you just being around this person because it's comfortable? It's your comfort zone, or is this truly where you need to be and where you're going? So that's for you Pisces. And now we're going to skip it up to the moon people, my Cancers, with a 5 of hearts. Now, this can be a horrible time for you Cancers, or it could be the best time of your life. It's your choice. The 5 of hearts deals with those difficult choices we have to make. In terms of if we're in a relationship, it's time to leave. You know what I mean? Because it's just gotten that bad. It's negative. There's a whole lot of negativity going on. It's toxic, and you just got to go. So for some of you Cancers, it's time to go. If you're in a relationship and things are really bad, or even if you're just thinking that you're not able to be who you really are and do what you really want, then it may be time to move on. However, if you're not in a relationship and you just want more relationships, maybe your relationships are fleeting, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't seem to meet anybody. Well, the 5 of hearts deals with travel. So some of you Cancers really need to travel. Some of you Cancers really need to get out of your own circle. You need to get out of your city. You need to get out of your state. You need to get out of the country. You need to hit the road, go on a road trip. You will meet somebody. So if you're a Cancer and you're looking for a relationship, go on a trip. Go schedule a trip to the Caribbean. Go on a cruise. Go somewhere far. And you have the opportunity to meet people while you're traveling. You might also meet somebody long distance.